And I'm Mayson Hord.
Today we have a guest speaker. His name is Mr. Tyres Tatum. He is the president of the North Carolina Federation of Republican Men's Club.
Today we have a special guest on, yet another one. We've been having a lot of people on lately, and we are very glad that Mr. Tatum has joined us. Tyres Tatum is the president of the North Carolina Federation of Republican Men. From what I can tell, they are doing great work, but he is here to tell us a little bit about what they do. So, Mr. Tatum, thank you for joining us.
Thank y'all for having me, Lexi and Mayson and Zach. Appreciate the opportunity to be on your show. So first of all, yes, I am Tyres Tatum. I am the president, the current president of the North Carolina Federation of Republican Men. Now I say it that way because I'm up for re-election on May the 20th at our annual convention, the off-year convention, which this one is. We do nothing but the bylaws. That's what we're talking about, is bylaws and re-election. So I'm up for re-election. I may have an opponent. We'll see if he actually does it or not. But our entire purpose of the men's group all across North Carolina is simple. We simply want to get good, conservative men and women elected to office. That's our purpose. And I got a phone call today from one of my presidents, and he asked me a very simple question. They have a new chair in his county. He wanted to know, were we bound or held liable to the NCGOP? And the answer to that question is no, we're not. We are affiliated with the NCGOP. I have a seat on the Central Committee of the North Carolina GOP, but I don't answer to them. I answer to the men who are members of our affiliated clubs in each county. Now, I say each. We're not in every single county yet. That's my goal. We're trying to spread this all over North Carolina. There are some affiliated groups with us. It's about 35. And then there are a few groups that are not affiliated with us. They don't want to join us because they don't want the oversight that comes with us being a member of our federation. So there is no oversight. The only oversight there is that we will come visit you. We'll answer any questions you have. We'll help you get new members. We'll help you raise money. We don't tell you what to do. There is no oversight. But there are a few rules each club has to follow when they become federated with us. And they're simple rules. To start a club is simple. You have to have at least 10 members. Okay. You have to have a slate of officers. You have to have a list of members. We ask for a plan of organization, which we will provide you several copies, and you can go in through a search and destroy and change all the names and make it your own, or you can look at another county and use their bylaws. You have to have a name that has the word Republican in it. So our rules are not that hard. We just ask a few things, and of course, we have a fee. We charge $2 per head to join our state men's club. So that's not a lot of money. That's, let's say you got 100 members. It's only going to cost you $200. But what you get from that is you get to be part of our federation, and you also get the fact that you can vote at the convention. It's a weighted vote. For every 10 members of that 200, you would get 20 votes. That means you can bring 20 delegates with you to our convention, and you can vote on bylaws. You can vote on the central letters that we have that we're sending out. Change our plan of organization. We just established a finance committee. You get the chance to vote on that. So that's what you get from being a member of the federation. And we all know there's strength in numbers. There's strength in numbers. So when you're out there beating the hedges and in the hedgerows and you're trying to get voter registration, you're going door to door knocking on doors, we can partner you up with a neighboring county or a group of men from all across North Carolina will show up in your county, and we'll go help you do that canvassing. That's what we're all about. We're going to get good men, conservative men and women elected to office. That's what my entire purpose is. Now, that's the club purpose. That's my purpose. I also have other things that I am also interested in as far as a men's club. Well, one, growing more men's chapters. That's what we're trying to do. I made a promise, campaign promise, and I always fulfill my promises. I made a campaign promise that we were going to have one club in every single county in North Carolina. So that's basically 101. Okay. Now Mason's shaking his head. Mason got that. I hope you got that. How many counties in North Carolina?
100.
100. So why did I say 101?
There can be more than one.
Well, there can be more than one, but that's not what I'm alluding to. I'm counting the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians.
Okay.
That's a sovereign nation inside of a nation. We are in talks with them starting a men's club at Cherokee. So that's one of my goals. Okay. Now I'm not quite there yet. It's taken me 2 years. We're still not quite there yet. But I've got 15 in the hopper. I've got 3 in Iredale right now forming. I've got Caldwell County. I have to think my mind geographically. Caldwell County is starting their men's group back up again. We were in Dare County last month. Dare and Pasquotank are starting new groups. We were talking with Randolph. I know y'all know Dr. Nathan Street.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Dr. Street used to be my state chaplain until he moved out of state. Randolph is trying to start a group. We just chartered Montgomery last Monday night. They met all the requirements, so they're coming on board with us. So we have them in the works. It takes time. This is a volunteer organization, and we have people who have to work for a living. As Republicans, we work. We don't have 8 to 5 to do this every day of the week. Most of our work is done after hours. So we're working on trying to get these men's groups started all over all of North Carolina. I keep putting in the United States. That's the next thing I'm going to tell y'all. So my other goal is the Women's Club has a state organization. They have a national organization in Washington, D.C. My goal is to start a nationwide Republican men's club. Now that sounds great, and you kind of give me the drunken chicken look. That sounds fantastic. Wow, we're going to have a national men's club. It's harder than you think. Getting the county chairs, getting the state chairs to call you back and talk about starting a state men's club in Nevada, in Texas. We started small. We went up and down the eastern seaboard, all the contiguous states of North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Virginia, West Virginia, South Carolina, which has a men's group, by the way, in South Carolina, Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, all the way to Texas. That's where we started. And I thought it was going to be simple. It's not as simple as it looks. So it's going to take me another 2 years to get it going. Another 2 years. Now, what questions do you have for me?
How can someone that wants to be part of something of that nature, how can they find out about it? And if there isn't one, how can they learn how to start one?
Sure. So learning how to start a men's club is very simple. I'm going to point you to our website. That's, of course, www.ncfrm.org and .com. We own both domains, and either one of them will take you to our web page, and that page will give you all the information you need. The easiest way to start a men's club is to reach out to us and let us work with you. Call a meeting, set it at a location. You don't have to have 10 men in the room when we get there, but it's easier if you have 10 or you know of 10 on paper who are willing to start this men's club. All you need to have is a roster. Set a meeting, set a date, and we'll send 2 people on our staff, our executive committee, one of our vice presidents, one of our regional vice presidents, or myself. 2 people generally come, and we will help you and walk you through this process. One thing I also need to mention, when you start a men's club, you got to have a EIN number, which is the tax ID number, and a bank account. So you
Mhm.
got to find a bank in your area that's willing to help you start an account there. One that won't charge you interest and deplete all your money out by all the fees that they like to charge. So the EIN can be done online. You can have one in 5 minutes, no problem. And that gets you registered with the State Board of Elections, because every dime you collect over $50 has to be a check, and you have to keep a record of it, and you have to turn in a record of what money you collect to the North Carolina Elections Committee. It's just like running for being a candidate for office. The exact same thing. There is no difference to it. But starting a men's group is the easiest thing you can possibly think of. Trust me, I'm doing this all over the state.
All right. So you said your main purpose is to get good Republican men elected.
Yes.
What about the Republican men that's already in there that have turned out to be rhinos? What are y'all doing about that?
Well, I have no authority to kick someone out of the men's club. That is done on the local level.
Yep.
They can set their criteria and say, hey, this person has been backing a Democrat.
Mhm.
That's against the plan of organization, and they can censure that person or take them out of the club. It's done on a local level. Much like what I do for a living, all disasters start and end on a local level. All disasters in the Republican Party have to start with the local level. Again, I don't come in as a state president and tell you how to run your chapter. That does not happen. I'm here for support to back you up. But people will call and ask questions. My phone rings off the hook. So the men in the various clubs will call and they will ask a question. And if I know the question, I'll answer. If I don't, I'm going to refer them to John Nix, who's my executive vice president, and I'll also refer them to our attorney, which is something we just recently did. We just recently hired an attorney for the men's club, Chuck Kitchens, who is a longtime First Amendment and corporate attorney in North Carolina, and he is working for us. So I have the ability to open mouth and insert foot. And I know somebody's out there waiting just to sue us, because at our convention, we're going to do an amendment to our bylaws that say that only biological men can join our organization. Okay. Now, so Lexi, let me tell you, you can join a men's club as an associate member. Okay. And we got plenty of associate members that are women in our men's group. That's fine. But we are men, we're not women, and we're not going to identify with someone who says he's a man who was born as a woman. We're going to tell them the truth. You need to go find yourself another club, because this is not it.
What else do y'all have coming up at the convention that y'all are voting on?
Well, there is a censure letter to Senator Tom Tillis. We want him to be on record to know that we don't agree with the votes that he has cast in Washington, D.C. on our behalf, because we didn't ask him to do that. He's voting his own agenda. He's not voting what we want in North Carolina. We are going to change the bylaws, as I've said. We're going to add this finance committee. We're going to start raising money. While you're talking about that, we're going to raffle off this Henry Golden Boy. It's chambered in 45 long colt. Okay. It's tube fed, octagon barrel. And yes, it does have the signature brass receiver plate. Okay. That's what sells tickets, is that brass sells tickets. So yep. we're gonna raffle off this gun. We're gonna sell 1,000 tickets. They're $20 a piece. We're gonna raise a quick $20,000 to help us get those Republicans elected to office. Let me shut this before I forget. I'm all about safety when it comes to firearms. So that's one thing we're going to vote on. We're also going to, we've already voted on, we're going to have raffle tickets at the convention. We're going to vote on the finance committee. We're going to vote on changing the plan of organization. We need to redesign some territories. We're too large. The state is too big. We need to get our territories down to a workable number of 10 to 15, which means we got to have more people. So I'm out here trying to hire new people. I need to hire a few regional vice presidents who help me grow these men's clubs. Okay, so we're looking for a few good men. Then the other thing that we're doing, of course, I mentioned the election, and then I'm talking about the internal election for our officers inside. This September, we're going to do our 3rd annual oyster roast, which is part of it's called the Down East Judicial Picnic. It's held at one of our regional vice president's house, Harvey West, and we raise money for the judges' elections in the state of North Carolina. We raised $45,000 last year. Our goal is to raise 60, and this year we're going to look at helping and targeting the Council of State races and help fund some of those campaigns. So our goal is to raise $20,000 on the gun raffle. We're going to raffle off a second gun, and that's going to give us $40,000 in the bank, plus what we've already got, and we're going to be able to help some of these campaigns. You know that politics runs on money.
Yep.
Period. We got to have money. You cannot be effective unless you've got money. And what we want to do, we can't finance the entire campaign, but we can add to these campaigns and make our impact toward good conservative candidates. Of course, they're going to be vetted. We're not just going to write checks to anybody who has an R behind their name. If they're rhinos, then they're not going to get a dime from us. They will be vetted. So as we raise this money, because it takes money to travel, we can do it on a volunteer basis. But if you got money, they take you seriously.
Yeah.
If they know you don't have any money, they just blow you right off. With the $40,000 in the bank, we're going to have a legislative day in Raleigh at the General Assembly, and we're gonna blast through the halls. We're gonna do a blitz of every single office, introduce them to what the men's club is, what we're about, and what our agenda is. Yeah, that is going to happen. The first day on the job when I got elected, I was asked to sign a letter that was voted on by the men's club in support of the Second Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. I was more than happy to sign that letter. I'm pro Second Amendment. I won't back up on it. We don't need to have a Constitution of States. We don't need to have a revising of the Constitution. We have a way to revise the Constitution. It's simple. They're called bills and amendments. If you want to change it, that's how it's done. So the council of the council, not council of state, the what do they call them? Constitution of State, whatever that group is called, they have not reached out to us and asked us to support them because our membership won't support it. We don't agree with it.
Once again, where can they find the website at?
Yes. So you can go to www.ncfrm.org or www.ncfrm.com. Okay. And we are on Facebook. You'll see it as NCFRM if you search for it. I post a lot of things on Facebook, our page, and when I comment, it's always Tyres Tatum Shooters because I use my business account to link to that. I've got 6 grandkids, and I want them to have the same America that I grew up in. And I don't see it. When I walk out the door, this is not the same country I grew up in. So that's why I'm doing this. I'm trying to leave a legacy for y'all and a legacy for my grandkids. And it's a hard uphill battle. It really is. I thought it would be much easier than this, but it's not.
All right, Mr. Tatum, thank you so much for coming on today. You are absolutely dedicated and passionate about what you're doing, and we look forward to what you will do in the future. So thanks again for coming on.
It's my pleasure. I appreciate the opportunity to talk about the men's club, and I hope y'all reach out to a men's club in your area. We just got to get one start in Randolph, but don't shy away. Our convention is May the 20th in Raleigh at the NCGOP headquarters, and we take guests. Y'all are certainly welcome to come and join us. Love to see y'all there.